Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another tutorial. We are going to be making an envelope flip, but it's going to have a pocket in the middle that we're going to put a small signature in. Originally, when I talked about this in another video, I talked about using a large mailer, like one of those manila looking ones, but I couldn't quite find the right size that I felt comfortable using, and so I went ahead and decided to use some envelopes. So we'll talk about that in a second. The papers I'm using today are from Botanic Designs, and it's the vintage clothing kit, and there's a few different variations. The creator has split them up kind of in an unusual way, but there's a lot of variety for sizes of the pages and stuff. So this is the full page ones, just some of the images. I cut some already, so I don't have them all to show you, but look at the beauty of that. So let me just show you a few. I love the tie. This is some of the ephemera. So there, some circles. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work. Some small, looks like ATC size cards. These are another part of the kit where they're split. So they can be used individually. I did resize all these so that I have, when we get to the other part 2 and perhaps part 3 of the project, I'll shrink some of these down so that they can be cards and stuff in the pockets. Another bit of ephemera, and again, just beautiful. I mean, look at this. That is just, and I love this one. I love this tie. Oh, and then some pockets. And then another one of the split pages, and then this is one of the full pages, which I'm not sure if I manipulated this or not, so I do apologize. I did have to play a lot with the sizing just because of the substrate that I'm trying to work on, the envelope size. I was struggling to find one that was wide enough but also tall enough, so it was, you know, landscape or portrait or whatever, so it was a challenge. It was challenging, but I think that's just because of the project that I'm trying to do. So that's that, but beautiful images. Look at these jeans. Aren't those just precious? Love them. The shoe, gorgeous. The suitcase, this is one of my favorite images in the whole kit. So we're using that in this project, and then this is another one. I love these shoes so much. I'd love to do a mixed media project using just that image, but we'll see. And then another one of the split pages, and then that one as well. So beautiful. So. I don't know if you guys have watched me do envelope journal kinds of things before, but what I do just to make the process a little bit easier is this is the one we're actually going to be covering, but we're also going to be putting one together so that you can see how I do it, but I'm going to be using this one to put my papers on because I've already prepared the papers precisely to fit the way that I've cut these, the way that I've opened the tops and the sides and things. So we're going to talk about that in a second, but we'll go through this and put it together. We'll put it together. So the way this works is, this is the opening for the small journal. It's going to be a pretty small journal because this does not have a lot of room, and I did play around with trying to do, I played around with some envelopes and put a gusset on the side, but then it was too narrow at the bottom. So then I tried to do a gusset at the bottom, but I couldn't figure out how to do both, to be honest with you, to do a gusset on the bottom and the sides. If you guys know how to do that, I would love to hear about it, but I ran out of energy to try to figure it out. I spent a good portion of my day doing that today. So, but anyway, it's going to be fine because it's going to be a small journal. It's going to just fit in there. We got a little bit of an opening there. So that's that, and so it's going to have, obviously, these two flip outs. They open on the top. Okay, so they both open on the top, so they'll be able to hold a tag or something. This one opens on this side, so that will be a nice tuck spot. And then And then this one will just be a base. I'm not sure what we're going to do. We might have these big panels just be able to show off the beautiful images and not put any pockets on them. I might put pockets on the other ones. We'll see how I feel about that. And then if you flip it over, then you've got this one envelope that flips up. So that's what we're going to be doing, and obviously your large envelope base. So as you can see, all of my envelope flips have been labeled with a number, and they correspond with numbers on these. So front 1, 2 back, 3, etc. So that's how I keep track. When I first started doing envelope flip kinds of things, I got really, really confused, and it was hard. And I always glue all my stuff together before I cover anything. So the only thing I was a little bit concerned about, and I might still do this when I don't know if I can do it afterwards, but I am concerned a little bit about the stability of that glue holding. But we're gonna just go with it, and hopefully it's gonna be okay. But just thought I would give you full disclosure on that. So apologize for my cough. I just drank a protein shake for dinner, so sometimes when I do that, after I eat, I get a little cough. So the small envelopes, and these are exactly the same envelopes, and I'm going to keep this here so I can exactly copy that, okay? They measure 3 5/8 by 5 1/8, so 5 1/8 inch wide by 3 5/8 inches tall, and there's 2 of those. And then this is the middle size, measures 5 1/4 by 7 1/4, and there's 2 of those. And then the large ones are 5 3/4 by 8 3/4, and there's 2 of those. Now these I get at Hobby Lobby. I've mentioned that before. Yeah. So whatever you have. So once you get an idea of the construction, I think you can make it out of any size envelopes. You could make it out of any kind of envelopes. You could be using mailers. You could be using recycled greeting card envelopes. It doesn't have to be store-bought. These are Paper Studio, and I get them 50% off at Hobby Lobby, or 40% off now, I think. So I get them for a bargain. Like, they're very, very affordable, and they last a really long time. So the first thing that we're going to do before we start constructing is I did decide to go ahead and just glue the flaps shut because I don't have need for them. Partly because, well, you know what? Do we have to? So there's a couple ways you could do it. You could glue this shut, which is what I did on my base, or you could have this be a flip. I don't want to get into all of that because this could actually be a pocket as well, but I was struggling with the papers, getting them the size that I wanted them to be to fit on the envelopes, because these are pretty long envelopes, the big ones. And so I decided to just glue this shut and just let this be the pocket, the base of everything. So I think we're going to go with that, but you could play around and figure out what suits you. So I'm going to just really quickly glue this envelope shut. Okay, just like that, and we're going to do the same with this one. Oops. And then when I did this one, I actually sandwiched these together like this so that they are the glued flap side to the inside. Okay, it does not really matter. Okay, so that's that. So now we need to look at this because we want to make sure that I want to make sure I do it exactly the same. So those two are glued together. Now we're not going to glue this together along the sides and the bottom until we get these envelopes stuck in here. So pardon me. And I think that I offset this one because of just construction wise, there was a reason. Oh, because I have these open here, and if I had it centered, it would stick out far more than I wanted it to. So we're going to do the same thing. We're gonna put this. I'm going to move this bottom envelope. Okay, that's just one side of it. We're going to glue this on here, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to butt it all the way to the end here. Okay, And you do want this to be nice and secure, so I'm going to be pretty generous with my white glue. Typically I would use my Fabri-Tac, and I probably will switch to that because it allows you more time to move it if you get it off centers or it's not quite where you want it to be. So it doesn't have to be all filled in though with glue. So let's go ahead and do that again. I'm going to switch to my Fabri-Tac because I always use Fabri-Tac for these kinds of things. And I'm just going to pull that so that I get that nice and snug and as close to that edge as possible. So let's cap this up because I don't want to use this. This is not my favorite glue. I much prefer Fabri-Tac. There we go. Okay, we're going to do the same with the other envelope. It's the exact same size, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to turn that over, okay, so that we can see where it goes. It's going to go on this side. And we're also going to put like eyelets and stuff on there when we get to that point of the process, which will be probably in the next video. We're just going to work on construction right now, and I'll probably show you the panel paper pieces just so you can get an idea of what it's going to look like, because it's absolutely going to be gorgeous. Okay, so again, we're going to just set that down there. Get a little bit more wiggle room with Fabri-Tac, so that's why I like it. Okay, I'm going to turn it over just so I can press that really well. Okay, and so that's that piece. And then we want to get this piece stuck in here as well. So it's one of these envelopes that measures 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. And so I want it to be between the two envelopes that are going to be glued together, that are going to hold the journal. So that's kind of the thought process. I'm just eye spying where that's at. And I'm going to need to turn this sideways so that I can see, or so I can flip this rather. Get that down. Come on. Again, I'm just eye spying. I don't worry about it being perfectly straight in terms of the middle. So we're going to go ahead and glue that flap as well. Again, just really pushing that up into that edge so that we have minimal sticking out here at the top. You can see we've got a little bit. It's kind of impossible to avoid. Okay, now depending on the paper you use, you could have your opening be here like I'm doing, or you could have your opening be at the top. But because the envelope is so tall, the large one is so tall, it won't fit it. A digital is not long enough if it's going the wrong way. So that's why I decided to do that. So that's one side. And so now we're going to, so we've done this one, and this one. So now we're going to flip this over, and we just have one more envelope. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And let me get this back in place so that I can get my bearings about me, because actually this envelope needs to be attached to this piece. So that's going to go like this, okay? So again, I'm just gonna kind of get an idea of that generally being in the middle with about the same amount on either end. And then I'm just going to flip that. Okay, could have started there. Goodness. This will probably be a 3 video project. We'll see how it goes. Might be 2. But another thing that people have commented in the Beloved Beauty Monthly for March that they would like to see more of the decorating, so I will oblige, and we'll just use this project to begin practicing that. So okay, and then we're gonna again just butt that right up, get it as tight as possible, give it a nice push, okay, like so. Okay, it's a little bit off, but I'm not worried about it. So now what we have, and then the other thing is when this flips, it could go like this with those like that, which that's the way this is going to go, because we're going to have a closure there. So now we need to glue these together. Okay? This is the one that's already done, Cara-Renee. No, this is the one that's already done. Oh boy, oh boy. Yes, that's the one that's already done. So now we're going to glue these together. So again, we're putting the one where we glued the flap shut together. Okay, like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm debating on, I think I should use the white glue though, because I feel like it's going to hold quicker. So I'm going to see if I can get my art glitter glue to work. Oh no, it's all, the pin's all stuck in it. Let's see if it'll come out. Let me just test it here. Oh yeah, it'll work. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm just going to use, I'm just going to put the glue on this one, and oops, make sure I've got the top right. I didn't re-look at that, so always double check. So this is the top. In fact, we're going to go like this and put an arrow on both of those so that we know that's the top. Okay, so that means that we want to make sure that that stays like that. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and just put a generous amount of art glitter glue here. Going kind of deep. It's okay. And I'm going to turn this just for my own ability to get to it here. Now one could also stitch these together. We'll take a look at that here in a second. It was a passing thought while I was playing around with the construction of this. So now I need to make sure, yeah, that's good. So I'm going to set this on here. Okay. And I'm going to pick it up right away, and I'm going to hit it like that. And then I'm going to push it all together. Okay. And give that a chance to just really dry. And so then again, what you have is you have this opening at the top for your journal. Now again, it can't be a very big journal, so but what one could do, I don't know, I just don't know how it would look if a person just did a stitching along here and along here. Oh, you can't do that though, because this is a flap. So you just have to put a stitch here, and that I think would look weird personally. So you can kind of figure out what you want to do. Yeah, I don't know how one would get around that. I don't have the bandwidth to think about that at the moment. So that is the construction, guys. So I hope that makes sense. I'm not going to pull on that too much because that glue is wet, but let's go ahead and get going with covering this baby. So we're going to start with I'm going to flip this all the way over because I did them kind of in order, large panels first. Oh my goodness. Actually, I need to ink all these up. So how about I do that really fast, and I will be right back with you. So I neglected to show you how you would cut your edges open depending on how you wanted your pockets to be. I do apologize. I have failed you. So technically what you would want to do is open these up before you glue them on. So you would decide, hey, I want this cut open. So before you glued this on, you would cut a slit there and open that up. Or if you wanted it open here, you could cut a slit here. You could still do that now because it's not attached. Okay, and then this one, you could cut a slit here, or you could make it open at the bottom, and vice versa. So I'm so sorry, I completely neglected to show you that piece, but you'd want to do that before you actually glued all your envelopes together. Okay, so here we go. So this is the one I know I want to be on the front. Look at that image. Is that just to die for? Like, it's absolutely stunning. And I think what I'd like to do with this whole project is do a little bit more with eyelets and stuff, and have there be some eyelets just to kind of in a row, and then some, you know, some seam binding or something tying off of it, just to give it a little bit of pizzazz. So this is panel number 1 going on envelope number 1. And so again, they've already been trimmed down. Pretty much I cut them to size. I don't like a lot of the brown envelope showing. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this. Again, Fabri-Tac is the way to go with this, in my opinion. If you have it, or any kind of silicone-based glue, because it gives you time to move it. If you don't get this on straight, you might be disappointed. So. Really, really uncoordinated tonight. Goodness. Alrighty. There we go. Go ahead and glue that on. Turn it around so it's not upside down. And that's not upside down for sure, right? That's the top. That's the top. Always check. I'm just going to place that down, and then again, you get a chance to move this around. Make sure that it is nice and straight. Okay, beautiful. So I might be, so this is 5 and 6, but I was thinking, I didn't remember, yeah, I did do 5 and 6, because I have 2 of these smaller ones are actually just a background paper. They're from another digital, which I will link as well, but I want these to be here with our beautiful dress. So one goes on either side. So let's have the shoes over here because they're pointing that way, so that makes sense to me. So I think in video 2, what we'll do is we will put some pockets on, and we'll also put the signature together, decide what papers we want to be in the signature, and get that prepared. So I haven't really thought about the binding. I'll probably just do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch just like I always do. So I'm going to set that on there, and again, wiggle wiggle to make sure, oh, it's a little bit hanging over. So we need to fix that. I did not check the width. Bummer deal. It's okay. It's easily fixed. So you just can turn this. See that overhang that I have? It's not a problem. I can just trim it off. You want to be careful though, so you don't cut that envelope open inadvertently, which I have done before. So just be careful. But it's not the end of the world. You know, it can always be fixed. And even if I did cut that open, I could fix it. So there we go. You could just glue it shut. Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh, wait a minute. That goes down, so that's not going to show. So we need to put something cool here. So my numbers might be reversed, so because I can't remember which one just off the top of my head that I picked for that, for number 3. So, but here we go. Yeah, let's trim this one off as well before I glue it. I think I'm just going to, I can see about what needs to come off, so I'm just going to do it by hand here. Just smidge off. If you don't feel comfortable, obviously you could get your trimmer out and trim that up. Looks good. So what are you guys up to? Today is Saturday. I did, this is my second video today, which I'm feeling pretty good about. The weekends is when I try to do most of my filming because I'm less distracted and I'm not as tired. So so it's Saturday and we had snow today. It's really cold outside, but it's not sticking. So, but the temperatures are very cool, and there's snow in the forecast for like the next 7 days, even though there's really no forecasted accumulation, but it's just cold. Isn't that so beautiful? Antone, that's Antone over there. Antone, I believe. Is his name, the creator. So that one feels off. Can I smooth that at all? Yep, a little bit. That's the beauty of Fabri-Tac. You can move it. Love that. Okay, again, perfection is not at play, so I don't worry about it. I'm just going to give that a press. It feels like that's coming up there. Okay, so now we have, we're going to set that one aside. So this is 3. So this is the one I had for 3, and I think that's perfect. So this is the one I had for 3. It's labeled 3. Did I trim this one appropriately? I think it might be a little tall. I thought I trimmed that off. I'm going to take a little bit more off the top. So it's imperfect, guys, and you can always just kind of fix as you go. It's not a big deal. The way that I had to size these in order for them to be wide enough is I do end up having to cut into the image, because there's just sometimes no way around that. So that's going to go there. Why does it feel crooked? It feels crooked in width. Nope, it's not. It's perfect, actually. See that? Okay, let's get her glued on. Probably not the best practice to put your glue on right on your project, because like that I just got some glue on the front of the image, but that's okay. That's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm going to take one of those glue erasers and rub that off when it's dry. There we go. That is beautiful. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I am in love. I am in love. So these panels are just those other papers. They're just a distressed paper, because there's really nothing in the kit that is just plain. So that's why I had to kind of pull some other bits. And I thought these were perfect because they've got some of those colors in them, kind of that grungy color, and this is too big. How the heck is that happening? I'm going to trim a little bit off that edge. I did measure, I promise. It's okay though. Oh, I'm just cutting through my little scrap there too on my scissors. We just roll with it here in the B.Reborn Art and Healing Studio. We don't worry about it. We don't sweat the small stuff, as they say. I'm probably going to put a pocket here, so I want that really beautiful grungy bit to be at the top in this case. And so now that we're to the panels that have the whole opening, you want to make sure that you don't get any glue in here. Okay, it's super important. So I usually will go in with my white glue along that edge and then cover the rest of it with Fabri-Tac. So I do the Fabri-Tac first because it doesn't dry as fast, and I have a little bit more time to then get to the white glue on those areas that I need to. So I'm just going to go there. And I'm putting it on the envelope itself this time because I need to control where it's actually going. So hope that's making sense. Okay. And then we're going to go in with the art glitter glue right here, just a bead right here. Hopefully it's not already plugged up. It is. Look at that. Oh, that glue just frustrates me. I don't know why I keep giving it a second chance. Every time I pick up Bearly Arts, it works. It works every time. I don't have to fuss with it. So, enough whining, Cara-Renee. Okay, because if you put glue there, you're going to close your pocket. So that's why you want to do that. Another newbie mistake I did a lot when I first started. I was like, what? Why isn't this working? Okay, because you glued the pocket shut, because you glued over that area. So and then these openings are at the top, right? Yes. Those openings are at the top. So that's perfect. And I like to, once I've glued that, I do like to get my metal ruler in there. Sorry, trying to reach it. This is the second one. I have 2 of these bookbinding kit. So I'm just going to slide my ruler in here and just make sure that I don't have any glue, and it looks good. This is going through beautifully, no glue being impeding that pocket, so that's awesome. And then let's check the measurements on this one. Oh my goodness, that seems weak. Why that tore? That actually tore. I hope that's not going to be a problem. I bet that's where I cut it. Doggone it. Bummer deal. I'm going to ink this edge where might show that might show in that crack, you guys. I'm imperfect, you know, this happens and it's a bummer, but it does happen. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue this on. Okay, whoops, get a hold of it. Okay, and I'm going to set that on there, and I'm just going to peek at the other side and see if that's just a tragedy or not. I mean, nothing's... Oh, shoot, I just glued that shut. Ah! I did not follow my own advice because I got concerned about that thing. So let's see what we can do about this. You know, I like to give you learning opportunities. So I'm going to wipe that glue off of there, okay? And I'm going to, that ruler is a lot sharper than this one, so I'm going to get this one, and I'm going to get my ruler in there, and I'm going to open that back up, okay? And I think what I'm going to do, whoops, I just opened up that whole edge, that's okay. I'm going to get a piece of parchment. I highly recommend having parchment in your studio. It's just from the baking section of your grocery store, like where you buy your foil and stuff. Super useful in junk journaling because sometimes when I'm working in a journal, I want to just continue flipping from page to page, and if oh, that's not long enough, goodness gracious, I can put a piece of parchment in between and not worry about glue getting everywhere. So let's do this properly. Oh my word. Oh my word. This is just so fun. Make sure I don't cut the bottom stuff. Beautifully human, you guys. We are all just beautifully human. As long as we just don't beat ourselves up, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that there. Hopefully that's right. And then I'm going to slide this in here. And I should be able to pull it out of the top when we're done, okay? So I'm actually going to reverse that so that I have a straighter edge up to the top. I hope that this is making sense since I completely wrecked this process for you guys. There we go, okay? So now I still have room to put my white glue, and I'll be able to slide that piece of parchment out the top. So we need to put more glue here, because that's now been shared with the backing and it's probably not wet enough. So I'm just going to go ahead and reapply my Fabri-Tac right on the envelope. That happens to me a lot, guys. Partly it's because I like to talk. I admit it. I confess. I am a talker. That's who I am. It's how God made me, and I embrace it these days. I don't worry about it. Just lifting that up, I need to move it over just a smidge more. If I can. Oh my word. Oh my word. There we go. I just need a little bit more room for my white glue. So I'm going to go ahead and put a bit of glue there. Okay. And put my paper back on. I do want that inked spot to go in that corner still. I cannot believe I sliced that open. That's okay. And if push comes to shove and it looks like it compromises the connection there, I'll just use some age tape and reinforce it. So there we go. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. And that is, so I'm concerned about that. So when we come back, I'll pull out some age tape and we'll put a little bit of tape right there. And it'll be fitting. It'll fit this perfectly. Okay, so then again, I'll be able to pull that parchment out later. Let me make sure that the window is, or that the pocket is open. It should be. So, yeah. Got a little bit more of a landscape taken up there by the way I glued it, but that's okay. I don't want to mess with that too much because that edge is compromised. Okay, so there and there. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Why is this one higher than this one? That is interesting. I wonder if we can trim that. We might trim that down a little bit, or maybe it's just my eyes. Let me hold this ruler up here and see if I can find the edge of that envelope. Yeah, it's off. You know, and sometimes envelope, well, I think this one's farther down. That's the problem. So we might be able to trim off, see that edge, that brown edge on this side? We can probably trim that off. That's already the opening. So, but I don't want to do it now because that parchment's in there and all of that business. So we will fix that later. So we will put eyelets on here. I probably will do that with you guys today. And so let's turn her over and do the other side. So the other side, this is the back, number 10, which is the tie. Isn't this so cool? I love this image so much. Oh, and so I didn't explain this well. So because this is the front of the envelope, we don't have to worry about this issue. So just in case you're a newbie, I want to make sure that I'm being clear. And just on a personal note, you guys, I kind of drop off social media over the weekend, so if there's something going on in the group, I'm not ignoring you per se, but I don't get on social media as much on the weekends. I try to preserve that time for just a chance to kind of reset and enjoy some things that are not digital in nature, you know, as far as technology. So I do stay off of it a little bit more. So I will catch up though. I'll probably spend a little bit of time tomorrow afternoon, Sunday, getting caught up. So and so while I'm thinking about it, the group, so the name of the group is, I don't remember it off the top of my head because I named it kind of, not weird, but what is it called? It's B.Reborn Journal Inspiration Group. So I will link it in the video description if you want to check it out. I'm not looking for a bunch of people to come over there. I just, if you want to, there are some very specific rules and limitations on the group in terms of content moderation, but you can share your own YouTube videos. You can use any digitals you want, other than it, they just have to fall within the content limitations. Which will make sense when you go check out the rules, but I want people to be able to freely come and bring whatever they create using whoever's digitals they're using. I'm not a digital creator, so I have no investment in limiting anybody from using what they want to use. So, but you can check that out. I'll link it up. So now we have, why do we have 3 of these? I have too many. Look, I have 1, 2, 3. I wish we could take a vote. I am leaning towards these 2 because they are very, very similar, because we only need 2, not 3. I must have cut an extra, but I think these go really well together. What do you think? I think so. So I think I want the shoes on this side. Oh my gosh, they're so gorgeous. They are so gorgeous. Look at that. Oh my word. I wonder how I'm going to secure this envelope though, so that it doesn't flip around. I didn't think about that. How do I want to do that? I don't know. We might put an eyelet here. We could totally do it, since I want to put extra eyelets on this. Maybe we'll do that, but we won't do that today. We'll come back to it. Do as I say, not as I do. Should not be putting this on my project. But I've done it enough times that I don't, you know, I don't worry about all that stuff. But if you're new, that can be something that could be really discouraging. If you're gluing and then all of a sudden you've got glue somewhere where you didn't want it, and it ruins your image or something. So, you know what? It's not going to work to put an eyelet down here because our opening on this envelope is down at the bottom. So, what are we going to do? We could put one over on the side. Well, no, we can't put one on the side either. So maybe we could do some Velcro and just Velcro these corners down. In this case, I did not think about that. I'm going to scooch that over just a little bit. Okay, like so. Beautimous. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so last panel is this one. So we do have that opening, so we're going to watch that. And obviously I want this to make sense. So our opening for our pocket for the journal is right here. So I want everything to be visually going the same direction. Okay, so I'm just checking the size on this one. That looks great. And so again, I'm going to be very, very careful, and I'm not going to make the same mistake again. And I'm going to go ahead and put my Fabri-Tac right on my envelope. And technically, you don't have to... Boy, that's a terribly crooked line. Let me finish what I'm doing before I start talking. You don't technically have to fill in the whole inside area. I just do. Oh man, I just got some glue in there. Okay guys, this is that time when you can laugh with me. This is it, this is it, this is it. So I'm just talking. Oh my word. Anyway, you don't have to fill in all this. I just do it because it doesn't take that much glue, and I don't know. I just feel like it eliminates any like air pockets that you might get. So we're just going to do it, and I don't think that's enough glue to affect anything, so I'm not going to worry about it. And I'm just going to put a bead of, I need to turn this because I don't want to get my arm in that glue. And I'm going to put a bead of glue right here with the white glue. And the only reason I'm not doing with a Fabri-Tac is because the nozzle is a little bit too big on that. And it would be difficult to control. So I'm going to just butt it up here first just to get it in place. And then I can move it around so that it's, you know, as even across everything as possible. I'm going to grab that paper towel and I'm just going to push here. I see some white glue. I want to get that excess off. And like so. Oh my goodness. This is so stinking beautiful. Oh my word. Oh my word. So let's see if we can fiddle with this thing here now. We got a little bit of glue there. So I think we should be good to pull this out already. Maybe not. Is it stuck? Is it stuck in there? It's still in there. I'm going to go ahead and just tuck it in a little bit further just so that we can, well, it's not going to really matter. I'm going to trim this off and see if we can even that up a little bit. I was not paying very close attention to the bottom apparently, so just took a sliver off and see that looks better visually. It's probably still not even, but it looks better visually. So let's get my eyelet setter, and we're going to put eyelets here. I should have measured this, but you know what? We're going to troubleshoot this together. So what we want to do is turn this way and find our center of each of these panels. So 6, that's 8. So, yep, that's perfect. So I'm going to move it down just a little bit so I have a place to put my pencil mark. Okay, so we're going to put one eyelet right here at the 6. Okay, and I'm just going to go right over here and I'm going to do the same thing, only this time I'm going to follow the 0 instead of the 6 since it's right close to me. I'm hoping you guys can see that okay on camera and I'm not just saying something nonsensical that doesn't have a place in your understanding based on what I'm doing. I'm usually pretty good about this distance and I don't really worry if it's not perfect, so let's go ahead and punch some holes. I'm going to use my small one, and that's just because I'm lazy and I just, every time I try to switch it to the big one, it's just a disaster. So I just don't switch it. I just keep it on the small one. So I should figure it out though, because I have a lot of large eyelets that I don't use because of that. So I'm just going to punch that. Oh, so cool. And we're going to punch the other one. Right. I feel like that one's farther away. Let me look at that. Yeah, it's farther away, so I'm gonna bring it in just a little bit from where I see that dot. I'm just gonna kind of be on the edge of that dot rather than right over it. Oh my goodness, where is it? Ugh, let's put a darker mark. Goodness gracious. I can make a mark here. I'll put a mark right there. We're going to punch it out anyway. It's not going to show. And again, I don't worry if it's not perfect. I'm just doing my very, very best. And I just have a good time. That's all. Okay. Pretty good. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and get some eyelets, which are in my handy dandy Dollar Tree magnetic containers. I think that the package came with 2 in each, and I bought 2 of them, so I have 4. So I have my some of my brads and stuff in one. I think the other 2 I don't have anything in them yet, but I will get to that. So let's go ahead and put these on. Yeah. I should have done this. Yeah, this is the way you want to do it, because you need to have the other side covered before you put the eyelet in. Come on. Seriously. These nails. I just had my nails done today because they grew so fast, because I'm taking my vitamins every day, all of them, for the last 3 weeks, and so my nails are growing super fast. And this morning I was doing the dishes and this one popped off because they were old. It was an old set. So I'm like, let's just do the fill and be good. I was going to go in the middle of the coming week, but just got it done today. So here we go. So I said that all to say I'm always telling her I need them to be shorter, and they still are too long for me. But oh, that's set really, really well. Beautiful. Okay, and then let's do this one. And then we'll be done for today, and in the next video we'll come back, we'll put some pockets on, and we will do our signature, or make our signature together. And then in the third video we will decorate. So, and we'll make some tags. Maybe in the next video we might have time to do some tags and journal cards too, just give them a little bit of frou-frou. That is absolutely, I think to get the full effect though, we need some seam binding. So let me pick a color that we think would go beautiful with this. I'm actually thinking I want something kind of vibrant, not that vibrant. Not that vibrant. Let's pick another one. Okay, well, scratch that. I will think about that. I don't want to cut something and then not be able to use it. So this will have a ribbon to close it. It's going to be absolutely epic. And what I'll do off camera is you could have inked all these edges of the envelope that would be showing, but I know I can do it afterwards, so I didn't really worry about it. But that is our project for today. Come back for part 2, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for being here. Take care. Bye-bye.